Hey folks, I'm here with Bea, my good friend.
Hi.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the stuff about living in Japan as ALTs and just generally our experiences with living in Iwate prefecture. So yeah, so Bea, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, about how you came to Japan, your reasons, that kind of stuff.
I've been here for 5 years, and my name is Bea, as you have called me. Why did I even go here?
Yeah.
I guess it's because I want to say, because this is the most common reason, right, for Filipinos like me.
Yeah.
I'm from the Philippines, by the way.
You would never know, would you?
The most common thing is that teaching here, the teaching conditions, the working conditions, are better than back home.
I see. What kind of differences are there?
I think because here our role is different. We are assistants.
Yes.
That means we don't have to handle the class. We don't have to do classroom management. All we have to do is show up, do the class, and we're done.
Yeah.
Back home, we have to do all the things that the teacher does, which is manage the students, make sure you have a good relationship with the parents, take care of lots of paperwork, and things like that. And also we have to stay longer. Here, the work days would typically be from the work hours are typically from 8:30 to 4, right?
Yes. So definitely shorter, I'd imagine.
Yes, but there, I think I have to go to school at around 7:30.
Yeah.
And I finish at around 5.
Yeah. Sometimes it does differ from what the actual contract says, despite our best intentions. So yeah.
So that's the basic reason.
That's really interesting because.
However, that's not the only reason. If I'm being honest with myself, that's not the only reason.
Yeah.
It's because I want to experience something more in my life. Am I going to be, because there's the expectation of graduating and going to a certain place and being there forever.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But there's this certain discontent that I've been feeling. I think you know this too.
Yeah, you want something a bit more out of life.
Yeah, it's like, I want something different.
Yeah.
I want something more.
Yeah.
And actually, choosing Japan was completely by chance.
Oh, really?
I would have been open with any country.
Yeah. Did you apply for jobs in any other countries, or was this?
I tried, I guess, in Thailand.
Oh, okay,
But at that point in time, I didn't have enough experience yet. So the interviewer told me, you know what, gather more experience and come back. I didn't come back.
Well, I can sort of tell.
I'm like, it's fine. I'll just try.
Yeah.
Because I'm sort of a happy-go-lucky person. I don't have a plan. It's like, okay, so this opportunity came along.
Sounds familiar.
And I tried. And it's like, oh, it didn't work out, let's move on.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, I'm gonna work hard. So
すみません。ごめんなさい。
かわいい。
大丈夫ですか？はい、こんにちは。どうですか？かわいいでしょう。すみません、ちょっとビデオを撮ります。はい、こんにちは。お名前は何ですか？マリンです。
マリンちゃん。
マリンちゃん。こんにちはね。
マリしちゃダメだよ。
はい。大丈夫、すみません。いいえ、全然です。ありがとうございました。どうも。
So cute.
Yeah, really cute. So,
what were we talking about?
I have no idea. Something about Thailand and teaching experience and happy-go-lucky and coming to Japan.
Yeah, so, but when I decided to go to Japan, I realized that it's not as easy as, oh, I'm going to Japan and that's it. For me, it took a year.
A year, yeah.
So just to prep for it. I think you can understand that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think for me it was sort of similar, but yeah. So what was you preparing for a year? I mean, would that be to do with recruiters? What was?
Yeah, because I think back home in the Philippines it's a bit different.
Yes.
We have this agency called Chesham.
Okay.
So Chesham is a recruitment agency, and they would screen all of these people.
I see, yeah. So there are a lot of people from the Philippines.
I think they told us at some point like hundreds of people submitted an application, and they had to screen through that.
Wow.
The requirements were quite difficult for us.
Yeah.
Because we needed to have a driver's license, and driving is not a thing back home.
Yeah, it's not like perhaps America where everybody drives kind of
No.
thing. So
I specifically got a driver's license just for this job.
wow. So it took you a year to pass your driving test.
I think so. Like, and they wanted some sort of proof that you've been trying to learn Japanese.
I see. Okay.
So I went to this lady who taught us a bit of Japanese. I was such a bad student.
You're talking to the world's worst student.
I was such a bad student. I'm like, I just want to get the certificate so that I can show it to like Chesham.
Yeah.
And
that, by the way, is Nisato Elementary School up there.
I really love this bridge. It's
nice,
so
isn't
pretty.
it? Yeah. What we'll do is we'll wander sort of over there.
Oh, can
and
I?
then back down.
Can I take like a,
yeah,
a video
we're
of
just
this?
going to take some pictures, folks. So we'll be right back. Go for it, Bear.
Sorry, it's just all over the place because I'm just talking to you.
No, it's good. No, when conversations like this are good, you know, people want to hear natural, free-flowing stuff, I think, these days. So if they want to listen to professionally recorded excerpts about jobs as ALTs, they can go to the company websites and see all of their blurb-infested verbiage.
I think most people, at least back home, they would want videos of like how to get in.
Yeah, I
Like
guess
just
so.
some tips.
That's interesting, actually, because obviously, I guess a lot of us go into this process not knowing what to expect, and obviously for you, we'll go down this way.
Oh,
And
look at this!
I know, it's really
So cute.
very traditional sort of Japanese wooden construction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've obviously these various headstones there as well. Yeah. Okay, so it's very competitive to get in other words. So you've basically gone to learn some Japanese. How did that go?
It was fine. I did learn some hiragana and just the basic greetings.
Okay, yeah. So like jiko shokai.
Jiko shokai.
Yeah.
Mostly jiko shokai.
Yeah.
Just the basics.
Mm.
Not enough. Here's the thing. It's not enough to hold the conversation.
Yeah, I know that
But
feeling.
it's just enough to tell the interviewers,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I learned it.
Yeah, this is it.
A little bit, wink wink.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, I've got my Yoroshiku Onigaishimasu down pat kind of idea.
yeah,
so, yeah.
And we had to take a test,
Like
a grammar test.
What, like Japanese?
No, English.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh, let's make sure that you can actually talk in English and like use English.
Yeah, I haven't
for
got a
yourself.
clue what she's on about right now. Please tell me, folks. Yeah, I can see why she needed a test. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I had to do one as well.
Yeah.
And I was super nervous about it. And there's actually one that, I mean, like, when you went to these recruiters, did you ever see any of the other recruits, or was it all online? How?
I saw everybody.
So you literally went into like maybe a big room with like hundreds of people there?
I think there were 20 of us at that point
okay.
in time.
Yeah.
I think it's not just 20 though.
Mm.
Like they interview people constantly.
I see. So you maybe had a time slot and then
Yeah.
you finished up and then the next, because
Yes.
when I went, I thought I was, because it was at this hotel, I think the Paddington Hotel in London. This is obviously with Interact directly, or their UK branch as it was at the time. I don't know if it still exists. And I thought I was going to go into like this conference room with maybe 100 people there, because hey, you know, everybody wants to go to Japan kind of thing. And there's like 3 of us.
It's just
What the fuck? You know,
Did everybody get hired? Did you see them
I
again?
have no idea. I mean, there was 2 other younger girls there that were sort of perhaps just finished at university, so sort of early 20s. And myself, there was meant to be 2 guys that were gonna be there, but they just didn't show, so I'm not sure. But anyway, so you did this English test. How was that? Did you feel patronised by having to do this? What was your feelings on that?
I can understand though, because as people who were not really, I don't want to say we're not born in English speaking countries, because we speak English in the Philippines.
Yeah, it seems to be going quite well so far.
It's just not our first language.
No, true.
And we need to prove that we can actually do it, and I'm like, okay, fine, I can do it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, we also need to have experience, teaching experience.
I see.
So this is one of the main differences between Filipino applicants and other applicants.
Yeah, that's definitely different.
We need to have at least 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, they will not accept our application at all. They will be very upfront about it. They're like, oh, we will not accept you because you don't have a year of experience, not even 6 months, a year.
Wow. I'm going to go down this way. So yeah, so you had to have that. And how many years experience did you had at this stage?
I think it was a little bit more than a year.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, just the right time.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I'm very thankful to my friend, because I wouldn't have known that this was a thing if it wasn't for my friend who told me, hey, they're hiring. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we planned it out together. We had calendars and stuff.
Oh wow, so you're good at this stuff. I know Bear's really good at scheduling and doing notes and all this kind of stuff. I'm just basically a haphazard bag of flesh that stumbles through life. But anyways, enough about me. But so you had all this schedule worked out, everything planned out. But I guess all of that's really important, because the standards for you getting recruited are a lot higher than myself. I mean, I'm only speaking from my experience, but the standards to which you were hired are way in excess of what mine were. I think basically they checked if I had a pulse, and that was it really. Oh, and they did the English test as well. But apart from that, I mean, it probably wasn't anything like your English test. I think it was just basic sort of grammar stuff, like spell the word dog or something like that kind of idea.
For me though, the difficult part was not the English test.
I see.
Because I've been using English my entire life, so it's fine. The difficult part was the demo. Because this is also another difference. We need to have a certain look for the demo.
I see, yeah.
I needed to wear a black suit.
Oh, right,
and
okay.
my hair should be tied in a bun.
I see, so they're very prescriptive about not just the kind of clothes you wear, but your overall appearance.
Yeah, my overall appearance. So I should wear makeup, pull my hair up like this, and the lady, because there's a lady there.
I see.
She would take a video of it, and she would tell me, okay, stop, your hair is like not in place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like she helped me fix it.
That's amazing.
And she's like, okay, stop. Like, we took several takes. She's like, okay, you need to say it like this. You need to do it more like this.
I see.
And I feel like at that time I was a bit like, why do I need to do this so many times?
Yeah.
But then I realized maybe she was trying to help me.
I think she probably was.
Yeah, she was trying to help me so that Interact will definitely hire me. Because like this is a third-party company. Like, they're not part of Interact. So they're just presenting these applicants, and they're like, we need applicants that will be hired by Interact for sure, like 100%. So all the requirements should be there.
Yeah, so this raises another little point that I just wanted to sort of slot in. So you couldn't apply directly to Interact yourself, you had to go via an agency?
No.
So, and I presume this is something to do with the fact that coming from the Philippines, where the first language is not necessarily English. Is that the reason? Or is it because it's the Philippines?
I don't really know. It has something to do with maybe the government.
I see. So
because,
maybe there's
like, the government needed like a way to protect us.
I see.
And maybe Interact thinks, oh, that's just a lot of work.
I see.
So many documents will be needed. I need to talk to so many people. So they hired this third-party company. This is just me assuming, okay? I don't really know what's up with that.
Yeah.
But this is a very common thing. The company that I applied to, Chesham, they just don't hire ALTs. They hire nurses.
I
too.
see.
And like other kinds of workers, like maybe factory workers, I forgot. But for
see.
sure they hire nurses. So it's not just us.
Yes.
And it's not just Japan.
Okay, so this could be things like, you know, for example, my mum in the past worked in the care industry, if I can use that word. Sounds terrible talking about care for people. It's an industry, but it's the first word that comes to mind. I don't mean that she factory processing of old people, but she worked in, you know, like care and so forth for the elderly, and she worked with a lot of Filipino women and so forth. And I'd imagine it might be one of the ways that perhaps some of them came through to the UK to work, for example. Interesting.
And
okay.
and another thing is, we have to pay.
We
have to pay the agency.
That's amazing, isn't it?
I think, I'm not sure how much I paid. I think it was, I'm not sure if it's like 1 month's worth of salary here or half of that.
Wow.
It's either a month or half of like the total salary that I will make here.
I see. So
in a
that would be,
month.
what, that's about 115,000 yen or so?
I think.
Is that right?
I think so. It's either 100% or 50%. I have to check again, but
That's okay.
but I have to pay a certain amount. And the most difficult thing is like the papers.
I see. So
I have to take so many. I remembered I had to go to all of the schools I attended. From elementary school, I think even kindergarten.
Oh wow.
Up to university.
Yeah.
I had to get a paper proving that they taught me subjects in English.
Yeah, because that's one of the big requirements, isn't it? Is that, and this one applied to myself as well, that 12 years, I think, is it something like that?
Yeah.
Of your education is conducted entirely or mostly in English. I can't remember if it's entirely or mostly, but
you're from the UK, like what else will they use?
well, we all know that British English is not a formally accepted version of English in Japan, so you know, most people just look at me just like, why aren't you American? You know, talking proper English. By the way, what language do they speak in the UK? Is it something like French? So,
Well,
anyway, that's another
you'll
story.
be surprised.
You would be surprised. In fact, actually, it was the school behind me where I was once asked. I might have to snip this bit out because I don't really want to offend anybody. But I was asked by a member of the staff, shall we say, what language do they speak in the UK? So yeah, I was quite.
I don't know. Maybe.
I should just have said something like Scots Gaelic. I should have been like, "What's that?" I'd be just like, "It's basically what you speak when you've drunk too much whiskey." So. But yeah, that's interesting. So the majority of your, well, all of your education was in English then?
It's a mix.
It's a mix, yeah.
So the certificate says everything's in English, but not really.
Well, you know, as English is not the first language necessarily in the Philippines, it'd be very difficult for it to be 100% English unless perhaps your parents sent you to one of these.
We're not rich enough for that. Like the international schools. No
this is
way.
what I mean, you know, like, you know, and you know, I don't know about you. You obviously you worked in high schools up till now, but certainly for elementary and junior high school age, I don't believe that you need to have such a wide and huge knowledge of English really for the majority of situations to be effective as an ALT, to be honest with you. High school might be different because of the grammatical kind of things they teach.
Yeah, for high school, I had to review certain things.
Yes.
Because even though I know how to use them, I don't know how to explain them.
Well, I don't know how to explain most of them. I'm forever asked questions like, well, why would you put this word in there? Like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was something this week where I was asked, why would you put the word then in the second sentence? It was something like, we ate curry and rice, for example, or something like the sun set at midnight, we, I don't know, saw a reindeer or something like that. It's a really bad example, but I put the word then in like the second sentence, and I was like, well, why would you do that? And I was just like, it just sounds more natural.
Yeah, like,
you know?
just so you can emphasize that it's a sequence of events.
This is it. I think that's basically what I'm saying. It's not wrong to not have then in there, but it makes it more smooth.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't sound like just a a dry list of stuff.
Oh, this is so pretty.
This is beautiful, huh?
What?
Absolutely amazing, huh?
So you pass through here.
I drive up this road every day. Well, not every day, but every week.
That's amazing.
Yeah, let's go and explore. We can go up through the little entrance there, I think. Yeah. Don't live in Tokyo, folks. Come to Iwate. That was a message from the Iwate Tourism Board. Thank you for sponsoring this video.
You're not getting paid for that.
Bea, I'm trying to make out that I'm some big swinging YouTube star. Anybody knows me, that is not the case. So.
Oh, maybe you can put this in your manga too. It's a nice location. Have you thought about it?
What's that?
This location.
For what?
Your manga.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm running out of time though for Saki to do things before, unfortunately, the
thing happens.
the tsunami and earthquakes. So, yeah.
And you already have a shrine.
I do.
Yeah.
Nothing to stop me redrawing things, but of course, her story doesn't end with the tsunami and earthquake, so who knows, maybe this will get transplanted.
Spoilers, Vicky.
No spoilers. But when time progresses, maybe. It's always good to see Nazi memorabilia. No, I'm joking.
That's the thing though, this is older.
It is much older.
Yeah, it's older.
And it's
than the
obviously
Nazis used it.
45 degrees or whatever it would be. Because the Nazis appropriated it. So yeah, the requirements for yourself to come to Japan were obviously a lot higher. How did that all pan out in the end?
It was a very long and drawn out process, but in the end we did make it, me and my friend.
Yeah.
And we paid. We paid, and then they booked a flight for us. They were the ones who booked the flight for us, so
okay.
everybody went in the same plane.
I see. Oh, yeah.
So we got here. It was in Narita. I think the process was different for you and me because we had a week in Narita.
Yeah, we didn't have that, but I think a lot of it might have been influenced by the corona pandemic.
The big thing.
The events, yes. Don't talk about the event. But I have a feeling that Interact saved a bunch of money.
I think so.
Doing it the way that we did it, which is why I think they're going to continue doing it how I experienced it.
Yeah, which is such a waste because the training in Narita is a good way to learn about other ALTs.
Yeah. Well, it's good for meeting people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
It was the first time in my life that I saw so many foreigners.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is weird because at that point in time, I was also a foreigner.
True,
Yeah,
true. So was this the first time that you'd been outside of the Philippines, or had you been overseas before that?
I've been overseas before, but with my family.
Yes.
I've never been
by
outside
yourself
of the country by myself.
Yeah.
So this is completely new to me. And usually we just went to nearby countries like Malaysia, Thailand.
Yeah.
Oh, we went to Hong Kong once.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the farthest I've ever been.
Yeah, so a reasonable distance, isn't it? So
And I spoke very little Japanese.
I see. Yeah. So
It's like a
me
fish out of water situation.
Definitely, this is it, isn't it? So it does happen. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
大丈夫です。大丈夫です。はい。
大丈夫です。
よろしくお願いします。すみません。ありがとうございます。
So cute.
Yeah, well, we're not wearing a mask either, so.
Yeah, and we're out in the open. It's fine. There's nobody around.
I was just about to say, oh, my taicho is okay, but she doesn't know that, so bless her for saying that. I mean, you know, it's kind of interactions like that that always remind me about like all the things I really love about Japan, you know. I mean, you just wouldn't have that in the UK. I mean, I'm not saying the UK is unfriendly. I don't want to go off in this tangent because we was talking about something much more interesting than this, but a lot of people in rural parts of the UK are still incredibly friendly. They'll say hello to strangers, that kind of stuff. That was the kind of environment I was brought up in, which is probably why I'm a bit too over familiar with people maybe sometimes, you know. But you know, like certainly in the cities it's different in the UK, where everybody looks like, oh my god, it's an axe murderer coming, look interested in the radio shop that I've just walked past. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that, you know, Grundig radio. What am I talking about? Anyway, so
But I think this is something that's very unique to countryside Japan.
yeah. I mean, yeah, if you was in Tokyo, that wouldn't happen.
Nobody would say.
Nobody would say anything. It would all be konnichiwa. Hello. Konnichiwa, hello.
Are those your students?
Yep. It's bound to happen, isn't it? So why am I saying konnichiwa to them? But you know, it just happens, doesn't it? Yeah, so yeah, you wouldn't have that interaction in Tokyo and that kind of you know, familiarity. So anyway, so you got to Narita, meeting all these foreigners. How was that experience been?
At first I was nervous because I had never really, before getting this job, I never really talked in English outside of class.
I see.
So it's more like, okay, I'm in class and now I have to talk to my friends. I will not speak in English because English means work.
Yeah, there's
like
a
English
cognitive...
means I have to do like something academic or like I have to work.
Yeah.
But now I have to do it all the time.
Yeah, this is it. This is life going forwards in a way.
So at first I was very nervous. I'm like, can I keep this up?
Yeah.
Can I even like talk to friends? Because talking to friends means I have to do the thing that I do for work. Right?
Yeah.
But eventually I made that connection. It's like English is not just for work.
No.
It's for other things too.
Yeah.
So it took some time. It's not like I found it difficult to form the words inside my head. It's just more of like a feeling.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't know if this is right, so do correct me, but like when I first came here in Japan, using Japanese was exhausting for me, physically exhausting.
I'm still not over that stage of learning Japanese. To me, it's still work.
But with English, how does that feel now?
It feels more natural.
Yeah.
Because it's just a way to communicate with other people.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I have to do this thing again. This is work. No, it's not work anymore.
Yeah, I suppose when it enters that kind of part of the brain, I'm terrible at describing these things, so I can only describe it in my own simple English, ironically. You know, when it enters that part of the brain where you don't have to put too much, what I'm going to call cognitive, I should look that word up in the dictionary, where you don't have to really put too much mental thought into it, that's when it becomes easier, isn't it, I guess?
Yes, it's one of the biggest hurdles that I had to go through, that I had to overcome.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that's like, you know, sort of all those experiences. Well, we've made it back to Roland. There he is. She is. I don't know. Not really sure what gender Roland is. I mean, Roland Rat was...
Did Roland take a bath? He looks clean.
I think when the garage looked at it the other day, they
washed him up.
They washed it. They thought, that filthy gaijin. She's only had this motor for 3 weeks and it's already... But to be fair, I wasn't going to do it because I knew I was driving all the way to Kauai and I thought, I'll wash it and it'll be ruined. So...
yeah, I plan to wash mine around maybe March when all the snow's gone because it's just gonna be messy again.
This is it. So yeah, I know. Cool. That was awesome.